Hi, good afternoon. It's Gene from maverickstar Observatory. I want you to just pay attention to what I'm going to show you in this video, because right now, and I know a lot of you are going to say, oh, we already knew this, but right now there is no democracy in this world. They have seized control of all your freedoms and did so by legal means. I'm going to show you exactly how they did it shortly. But what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about you can't protest right now because of this current pandemic, which I believe 100% has been caused on purpose to achieve a certain result. And you know, when the dust settles, finally, after this pandemic has gone, and it will do, I guarantee you that, it might take 5 or 6 years to pull it off, their little scam, but it will eventually go. And when it does, when the dust settles, you will be in a different world to what you are today. You will be part of the new reset. And you might say to yourself, do you think I'm going to let that happen, Gene? You're not going to stop it. None of you work together, really, on any grand scale. You know, I am sick and tired of trying to educate people, trying to bring things to their attention like I'm about to in this video. Facts, legislative law, you know, so that you understand exactly how they are manipulating everything to get what they want. I'm just sick and tired of the millions of ridiculous responses that we get in the comments section from some people. You know, they are an enemy to their own. And they don't deserve no rights at all. These people are just lunatics. Complete and utter lunatics. You know, I could make lots of quotes today and they'd be 100% accurately right. All what has gone on over the last 30, 40 years in the United Kingdom and the rest of Europe and the rest of the world has been nothing short of a great train robbery. And we should all be ashamed to have let this happen and get to this point and still today do nothing, and we will do the same tomorrow. Absolutely nothing. But nevertheless, I'm still going to point a few things out to you. You know, I just want to give you a quote. One man's freedom fighter is another man's terrorist. That will be the same viewpoint on either side of any conflict. Some people are doing it for the freedoms of others, and if you're against those freedoms of others, then you're a terrorist. And our governments in this world today are using such terms as this to get their own way. Because terrorism is an ugly word that has been impregnated in our minds ever since 9/11 attacks. And you know, there is a stigmata attached to that word terrorism. Now we live in a day and age where citizens of countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, etc. are classed as domestic terrorists because we just simply don't share their views. I want to show you something. We're looking at the Human Rights Act 1998. As you can see, it's the government legislation on this. And this covers the basic human rights for people. As you can see, the right to life, Article 3, prohibition of torture, prohibition of slavery and forced labour, right to liberty. I'm getting down to the point where I want to show you something. Right to a fair trial, no punishment without law, right to respect for private and family life, freedom of thought, consciousness and religion, freedom of expression, and freedom of assembly and association. And these two articles, 10 and 11, are what I'm talking about. Now, if you're in the United States, you've got your Constitution, and you know, it tells you within the Constitution, I think it's the Second Amendment, which means you are allowed to have a well-regulated militia. That if the government should become tyrannical at any point in time, you, with your well-regulated and maintained militia, have the right to overthrow that government. And there we see the Proud Boys and all the other groups over there in America who are militia groups being classified as anti-Semitic, white supremacists, internal domestic terrorists, etc., etc. And here, this covers most of Europe. I don't know how it stands now these days with the UK leaving the Brexit. And I am aware there has been some amendments to the Human Rights Act, which probably don't help us in any case. But the point is this, is that everyone, as you can see, the freedom of expression, everyone has the right to freedom of expression. The right shall include freedom to hold opinions and receive and impart information and ideas without interference by public authorities. And that's the same for association and assembly, Article 11. But what they've included in this, if you read paragraph 2 under Article 10, and I'll get straight to the point, protection of health. And that is how they are now going about approaching these platforms such as YouTube and telling them, you must do something about these people that are talking negatively about the situation, because it is affecting people's healths as a result of that. And what they're talking about is alternative views and opinions with regards to coronavirus and the vaccines. I will tell you now, if you read the articles throughout, you will see that we have lost every right under this current pandemic. And that means, we have directly lost our democracy as a result of that. So how do you feel today knowing that there is no democracy here in the UK, in Europe, anywhere else in the world? We have heard our global leaders take us to wars, spill our brothers and sisters' blood on the battlefields for these lies to protect, democracy. And today we've lost everything, and we sit here right at this very moment with no human rights and no democracy. And I'm not talking, 100 years of war. I'm not talking 200 years of war. I'm talking thousands of years of war. The United Kingdom, and England more particular, has been in battle to protect the freedoms of its people. And we are talking millions and millions of people's bloodshed over that period of time to arrive at a point in time today where we have lost everything across the range. This government and all the governments around the world have taken away everything that everybody has lost their lives for in the previous wars, because today there is no freedom of speech, there is no freedom of information, there is no right to assemble an association with who you want. You have lost every shred at this moment in time, and you are probably oblivious and don't even care about it, because this very fact should boil your blood. And not even if you are just in the United Kingdom, but in America, in Canada, in Australia, New Zealand, wherever you are in this world, it should boil your blood, because they have took us to war over this concept of democracy, and now led us to a point in time where there is none whatsoever. This pandemic was directly created purposefully to change, or as we are now coming to hear about it, accept this great reset. And I don't know about you guys, but I am absolutely sick about this. Everything has been done for everything, everybody has ever sacrificed to this moment in time has been for nothing. And the majority of the world has sat by and let it happen. This is the UK legislation I'm showing you, and I'm showing you how they took your rights away from you. Nobody else has done this, as far as I'm aware, on YouTube. Where are all these other people, so claim, protectors of others, watchmen? Where are they? Why are they not showing you this? Leading you to the facts of the situation currently that we're at. No, what they'll tell you is grow your own food. Let me tell you what these governments are doing right now. They are pissing themselves laughing at you guys. Because they're saying, yeah, grow your own food. We'll just pass some legislation further down the line to stop it. And they have done that in certain states in America already. You can't even collect your own rainwater in certain states in America. You won't unite together because you've got too many opinions. You can't unite on one common goal and fight these people. And these people aren't finished here with just removing your democracy and freedoms. They've got other things in plan. You just look at the Georgia Guidestones and you'll see how much of an haircut they want to do on humanity right now. And let me tell you something, if they get their way, that is pretty much every one of us that is watching this right now. We will be lucky to avoid that. We are living in a hell on earth right now, because the people that have crawled out of hell, and I've explained this before, hell is just an attitude of people you wouldn't want to associate with because of their behaviour and what they do. But these people have a firm grip on your governments right now. We've seen what they've done to keep maintaining that grip on it. When someone comes into, presidency in America that has a different way of doing business, we've seen how they cripple that and squash it and push it out. America right now is divided because of what has happened. And as the people on social media sites have talked about, who likes Biden? Who actually likes this guy? If you look at any video that's ever been put on YouTube about this guy, he has thousands of thumbs downs, negative comments galore. Where are his positive feedback to this guy who's now in election? The Constitution's not being upheld, the human rights is not being upheld, and we could be in this pandemic now for another 5-6 years, and as long as that happens, we have no democracy and we have no freedoms, and we don't have the freedom to expression, have thoughts and share those opinions, and we certainly don't have the freedoms to assembly and association. And what these two things mean here, these two articles mean, is there is not going to be any protesting. If you do, you're going to get fined. If you organise it, you're going to get heavily fined. If you turn up at the events, you're going to get hit with truncheons, shot at with rubber bullets, tear gassed, and then hit with water cannons to boot. I don't feel right now that many people share my views, even on this channel of 30,000 people. There is a war going on right now with me and YouTube. There's a psychological aspect of this war where they keep chopping away 100 subscribers, unsubscribing my subscribers by 100 every month. It's a psychological attack. And then, when we put up a support video for funding, these GCHQ motherfuckers crawl out of the damp woodwork and then throw in their negative comments. And you know what? Because some people are weak-willed, they join in with them. Just have a look at the last video we done. You know, the whole point of raising money for this observatory is so that not one of us has to pay £250,000 out on equipment, because that's around about what we probably have right now around the world. Because for any one of you guys out there to have the same amount of equipment around the world as what we've got, that is what you've got to spend, if not more. The whole point of us sharing the burden of the cost is so that not one of us has to pay that big burden. Everybody gets the information. I'm telling you, just reading some of the comments that have already been put up on the video done this morning is absolutely... You know what? Not only are you under attack from the government, you're under attack from the platform that you produce your content on, and you're also under attack from these organisations that are trying to, you know, psychologically, you know, destroy your morale. And then we have the lunatics that join in with them, the suicidal kamikaze pilots that join in with them, that want to destroy their own families, it seems. I just cannot understand why nothing to this point in time has been done about this. Why has our ancestors' blood been spilt for nothing to this point? Why those people in Dunkirk, in the Second World War, you know, that lost all their lives in those trenches, in those wars all over Europe, why to this point in time have we just turned our back on all that bloodshed and sacrifice that they made for us? And let these aristocrat pigs at the trough ruin everything for us and dictate us like they are doing. Why have we allowed that? You know, I'm just going to say, you know, as usual, you know, no, I'm not even going to bother.